we've all fallen trapped into this at some point, but we try to do as agents so much. We try to reach out as wide as possible.
And when you figure out who your audience is, if you're in New York or Texas, California, that is who you're doing videos to.
So you come out wearing your cowboy boots and everything, cowboy hat and stuff.
Hell yeah, American flag on my shirt. Said, where can I park my truck?
Live from New York. Welcome to the Selling Empire Podcast. Your source for the latest real estate tips, tricks, and insights from the top producers in the industry. Whether you are new to real estate or a seasoned agent, don't miss your chance to learn from guests who have broken the mold and achieved massive success. Get ready to level up your game. Let's get started.
All right, so Tre Serrano, thanks for making the time and joining us here today. Super excited for this, for this interview.
Yes, sir.
Go team.
So, we know you, but, there's others out there that don't.
Shame on them for that.
Shame on them for that. But who the heck are you and how did you get started in the business?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Tre Serrano. We have a team in San Antonio, the Cavalry Realty Group, and we mainly are in the market with lots of first responders and veterans. Our team is on track to close about 130, 150 transactions this year.
That's awesome.
We're a very solid group, and we absolutely do a shoot ton of marketing. Can I say shit?
And we do whatever you want.
Yeah, so we're a lot of teams look at us as very on brand. So we definitely market to a niche audience, and we have very, very good returns because
awesome. And you said you were on track to 130 this year. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine that you were doing 130 since day one. So how did you even get into this trajectory here?
Yeah, so I started actually 5 years ago. And I started because I had a horrible realtor. Her name is Karen. And hopefully she doesn't hear this. But honestly, so I was a police officer. I did that for 9 years. And while I was a police officer, I really did have a horrible real estate experience. And I thought to myself, this job can't be that difficult, right? They sell houses, they get a big check, like nobody's shooting at you. You don't have to chase people, literally chase.
Yeah.
So how can it be that hard? So
that's a little chasing of people sometimes in our business.
Yeah, but you're not physically running after.
Not physically, just
Well, maybe if they don't sign in the open house, I'll chase them. Hey, can you sign in? But anyway, so the experience was horrible. I said, I'll just get my license and help a couple of buddies, for some side money, and that turned into a lot of houses. And then it was so much business. I had to hire a full-time assistant. When that full-time assistant was making more than I was as a cop, I said, all right, I think I got something here. And I think I need to do this full-time. So yeah, then 2.5 years ago, I left the police department, left my pension, left my benefits, everything, and said, it's either sink or swim.
And we'll get to the latter part, but how did you get your first client in real estate? So was it just buddies or?
So I was very intimidated by big box brokerages because I know I'm a little rough around the edges, and so I just joined a mom and pop brokerage because cloud-based wasn't really around, or at least it wasn't popular, and they had like a lead pool, like just random people that clicked on Realtor.com. So I answered the phone, and it was somebody who was like, hey, I want to see this house. And I walked in, I showed the house. They were like, okay, so what's the process? And in my head, I was thinking, I don't have a fucking clue.
But you tell me.
I told, but yeah, you tell me. What do you want to do? What do you want to offer? So, I mean, honestly, I just knew what you saw on TV is just kind of fake it till you make it, and eventually you'll figure it out. And it was funny because the gentleman looked at me dead in the eyes and said, you're new at this, aren't you? Whatever the hell I was said. I swallowed a little bit and I said, you know what, sir? You're absolutely right. I am new at this, but I have a very solid brokerage behind me that's going to watch all my steps to make sure you get the best service. And he was like, fair enough. Let's make an offer. So we made the offer on the house, and that was my first client.
That's great.
Yeah, man. And I guess, that takes a lot, right? It's just like you said, as a first time agent, still starting out, fake it till you make it. It's pivotal, especially when you don't have that confidence, or you don't know what to do. There's a lot that can happen there, which most just don't take action. So, kudos for just getting out there and just doing your thing. In terms of, go for it.
No, I'm just saying it was terrifying, and I feel for agents that are just starting out and they don't really know like what to say or like going through trainings. And I was there. Like I totally remember.
So how was the active transaction once you got it on the contract? Did you stumble? Did you miss documents? Did you figure out anything wrong with the inspections that you had any hurdles with that first inspection or the first client that you took away from?
No, I mean, I tend to get super obsessive. So with that first transaction, I mean, I handled it like an infant, just like constantly looking like, what do I need? What do I need to do today? Let me just check on the client. Let me ask them how his kids are, just in case they wanted to tell me something. So I was extremely obsessed with that one transaction because I knew that the more I dove into this transaction, the better I'm going to be in the next one. And then I did the same thing with the next one, and just every detail, every time the title company said like, hey, we need these docs, I called them and I was like, what is that doc? What does that mean? Then I was just constantly bombarding questions, taking notes. I just knew that with every transaction you get better. So might as well maximize your time and maximize the amount of knowledge that you're pulling from that transaction, and make sure that every single transaction is a raving fan after you're done. Then you have to chase less business.
And I think that goes a lot into, and we can dive into this in a minute here, but I believe most of your business today is referrals. Is that right? So people that you obsessed over, that, you service at a high level, and that eventually led to repeat business, friends and family, them just realizing, hey, this guy, even though he's new, he did amazing by me. He took care of me, and let's spread the word.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, it's really all about just obsessing over the client throughout the entire transaction. And then once you're done, you have a raving fan. That's what people don't, I guess some people, they just think like, oh, leads, I need leads, but it's not that. Leads are just a supplement. And if you do a really good job, I mean, you already built rapport with somebody, you built trust. So then just use that, as we call in the cop world, force multipliers, where if you have somebody that's trained and know, like, and trust, use them to multiply your brand. And that's how we've grown.
That's great. So what happened next after that first transaction? How long did it take you to get to the next one? And, how do you kind of build on that over time?
Yeah. So once I got first client out of the way, took the awkward picture with the suit that didn't fit me. I just do what I saw everybody else do. I posted the just sold, congratulations to my client. And who's next? I had no idea what to do. I didn't have social media because I was a cop. So I didn't, I couldn't put myself out there as much as people who weren't cops or in that capacity. So I just honestly just saw what successful realtors were doing, and I just duplicated. And so the next client, I think, was just somebody who I used to work with, and they said, hey man, I'm thinking about buying a house. So then I said, awesome. Like, let me dive into this and help them find it. But I think what helped me was during the time that my first client and then the second client and third and so on is I knew that the next client was another chance to get more business and have this raving fan. So I just really, really dove into the training aspect of it. I was practicing, I'd tell my wife like, okay, pretend you want to buy a house, go. And she'd be like, what's the process? I'm like, let me explain. The first thing we do is we go searching for areas and blah, blah, blah. So I'm glad I did that. And I think just a nugget to take away is, you know, you have so much time between clients that you could be training, but it's almost like culturally not acceptable to be training. Like culture in real estate culture, you're like, always be closing, ABC, you know, and talk to clients and get leads and pay this and pay that and do video. But it's like, hey man, when are you training? You know, nobody can be a sniper.
What are you doing to get better?
Right. Exactly.
No, I think that's one of the key takeaways that I personally had when we all went to the One Real conference here in San Antonio a few weeks ago, is that a lot of us, to your point, always be closing, obviously trying to focus on how do I get new leads, but who is actually spending the time to nurture those leads by getting better, by training, by honing their skills, so that the leads that we all do have, all those relationships that we all do have, you know, are we just, you know, letting them go by the wayside? Or are we actually doing our best to service individuals, you know, obsessively at a high level? There's a lot that can be done there, right? Yes, we should all be generating leads, but how do we service the ones that we do have so that they become our raging fans down the line, to the point that we don't have to generate leads because we're just so damn good at it?
Exactly. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that actually leads on to the next question is, I know you don't do a lot of the usual ads and buying leads and stuff like that. So what's working for you today? What are you doing today in order to get more business, or, you know, to get future business, besides all the great things that your past clients have to say?
So we do a lot of organic marketing, so much that it's kind of annoying, I'm sure, to people. So we do so much video marketing. We're on YouTube. We do Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We send videos to clients. You know, I'm on the news now. So I do.
Oh, nice.
I do a lot of video marketing. I don't pay.
But hold on, you're under news now?
Yeah.
You're under news now?
Yeah. So we're on.
You have to get into that more.
Yeah. So we got an opportunity to be on the news just because our YouTube channel is one of the biggest YouTube channels in San Antonio. And we were just approached like, hey, we want your market expertise and we want you to kind of be the real estate correspondent for NBC San Antonio. So I said, fuck yeah, I'm going to be the correspondent for.
Freaking awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
So you come out wearing your cowboy boots and everything, cowboy hat and the news.
Hell yeah. American flag on my shirt. Said, where can I park my truck?
That's awesome.
No, but I got to say, you sound very modest, which I know you are, but, you know, you have amazing content, right? I've seen your Instagram reels, your YouTube channel. You guys, you do some good stuff out there. It's quite impressive. And, you know, I would say you are one of the realtors that I look up to in terms of what should I be doing next. I think I saw
I appreciate it.
Just maybe yesterday, you released a new Instagram reel of going around to your client's house with Lotto tickets. So you're giving them away. Yeah. Talk about different.
Yeah. So I appreciate the compliment, man. Honestly, I would not be where I am if it wasn't for our brokerage and the agent collaboration that we do. Honestly, I'm not trying to sell anything. It's true. Like, my stupid ass would not be selling this much, you know, if it wasn't for people pushing me, you know, and believing in what I'm doing and just the positive reinforcement. So the Lotto video. So I saw Powerball and I'm like, God damn, that'd be awesome if, like, you know, if somebody could win that. And so I went to the gas station and I bought like $120 worth of Powerball tickets. And, you know, my admin and we just mapped out Google all the, you know, the clients closing. So I think we were able to get like 30 or 40 clients. And then the rest, I got tired of driving. So I was like, I'll just text some pictures of I'll text some pictures of the Lotto tickets and hope they win.
Nice.
But it was awesome. I mean, I see agents all the time. They say, Trey, I want to do what you do. I love your marketing and I appreciate it very, very much. Very grateful for the feedback. And I basically is you need to see who your audience is. And when you figure out who your audience is, if you're in New York or Texas, California, that is who you're doing videos to. That's it. Like, that's the secret sauce. That is why my videos are so on brand, because it's not videos that I want to see. It's not video that the team wants to see or how I want to be perceived. It's, okay, let's look at our 10 past clients. Who are they? What are their interests are? What is the culture of these clients? And then do videos for them. Because if you loved working with them, then people like them are going to be attracted to you. They're going to be drawn to your business because it's almost like, hey, he's marketing to me, and I'm just marketing to people that I like to work with, the veterans, the first responders, Texans, it's like, that's my audience. And that's who connects with me. And then when they reach out to me like, hey, Trey, I want to sell my house, the conversation is very minimal. Like, my listing appointments are basically like, is your yard sign in the back of your truck? Let's go. Just because there's so much content that you could connect with. And that's the secret sauce. I think agents, they want to work with everybody. And they say, you don't need 20% down to buy a house. Like, dude, who are you talking to? Because you're talking to too many people.
Yeah, and I think that's, to your point, that is the secret sauce. There's just so much business out there. And I feel that, and I think we've all fallen trapped into this at some point, but, we try to do, as agents, so much. We try to reach out as wide as possible. When you're doing that, you are doing a disservice, not just to your client, because you're not really talking to them, but also to your own business, because you're not focusing enough to actually be effective. And we can see by just your success, 130 closings for this year. That's not by you going out there and just trying to reach everybody. It's by you talking to your people, to your tribe.
Yeah. And not just that, then you end up working with the wrong people, and then you go home and complain to your wife all the time and say, these freaking clients did this and did that. And, to your point, you want to attract people you want to work with, and attract people that identify with who you are. And, you can go out and have fun with, and it makes it seem like when you're working with them, you're just hanging out with a friend. And those are the best clients that you can really get. And by actually targeting those clients and making videos just for them, it's a great way to attract people that just, like you for your personality, and someone that you do want to work with, rather than being stuck with those clients that we all have had in the past.
What are you talking about? I've never had a bad client.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
Yeah. No, but I think, in that same sense, you do a lot of video. You're constantly out there just putting out content, which is phenomenal. It's something that, we preach to all our agents here in the office. But, myself and Felix and every other agent out there, we hate making videos. So we hate producing content. So how do you
definitely hate?
So how do you stay so, I would say, focused and productive on that? I guess, are you just a video making machine?
So, I'm very fortunate that, we now have a team of 5 agents. Tomorrow will be 6. So they are doing a lot of the prospecting, a lot of the follow-ups, and, they're, I think, snipers in my opinion. So without them, I would be on boots on the ground prospecting myself, but they allow me to be able to be in front of the camera a lot more. So what's been really successful, and honestly a game changer for those agents that want to do more video, is if you batch. So like, pick a day during the weeks. It could be the same day, it could be different days. For me, it's honestly whenever I have a 4-hour block, I say, okay, these next 4 hours, we're going to shoot, 8 short form videos. So that could be, standing here talking to you guys about, some real estate story or something. but I'm thinking like, what do my past clients want to hear? So they want to hear, Tesla's coming to San Antonio. They want to hear that, now the San Antonio house prices, has dropped, like rates suck, houses are slashed 20% price. Like that's what they want to hear. They also want to hear some of my horror stories, like what makes me human. So it's just different like buckets of, people call them buckets of content, but it's just shit you can talk about. Like I can talk about what's going on in San Antonio. I can talk about some of like my client successes, some of my failures. Like I made videos of like how I awkwardly saw somebody that I arrested in an open house. It's like, it just makes me human. I'm not this like, just a realtor and just like walking around and, just trying to sell houses. Like I'm a human. I have a family. So, so just defining who your audience is. That's number one. Number two, think of what they want to talk about, what they want to hear, and what applies to them. And then three, block out time and just bullet point, no scripting. Like you don't need to, my name is Tre Serrano. I am a realtor, and not that. Just give bullet points. So I'm going to talk about the top 10 schools in my area, the list that just came out in the news. So I'm going to say, hey, these are the top 10 areas that came out in this article. Let's talk about them. And then you ask them, like, do you think this number one school should be there? Is there a school they forgot about? You're asking them what they want to hear, and they also want a voice. You're not the only one that's like, let me tell you how that's supposed to be. It's like, no, ask for engagement. Like, what do you think? And then that's typically the secret sauce right there.
That's awesome. So now that you're growing your team and you've had all these transactions, what's next for you? What are you working on now? Maybe in the next, for the next year or two, what's Tre's next big thing?
It's really to master the system. So when I was a solo agent, like it was all about prospecting and branding myself. Now that I have a solid, I guess, perception of the process, now the next step was branding. So creating something, when they see a Cavalry or a Tre thing online, they know it's like, oh, okay, this is a very solid real estate team. So the branding is kind of already done. The next phase of evolution is the systems, to make sure when an agent comes to the team, they have the resources, they have the leads. So it's building that out to make sure that we know the process literally to a science. Like what could happen, the standards and procedures, what do you say during about? So anyway, building the systems is definitely what we've been doing. We just want to master it. And then the next after that is getting more agents.
Awesome. And I think, that system piece is often one that goes overlooked, right? If you're spending so much time on your branding, creating that, getting that to a point where, you are who you are in that market, and you bring on a team to represent that brand, you want to make sure that they are acting on brand, and they are delivering the same level of value that you are, and you've gotten your clients accustomed to. So building the systems, building that back end to support your team member so that the level of service they provide is equal to what you would do, just goes to ensure that brand stays on point and keeps on growing. So that's often something that I see overlooked by many. It's something that we should all, I think, even us.
I think that was another one of our takeaways from the conference too, is we need to improve our systems. We just jump into a lot of things, and sometimes, we kind of move on to the next step without really making sure that process or that system is fully bulletproof before we move on to the next thing. And we're definitely guilty of that. Right?
I think up here, it's crystal clear in my head. I know exactly what I want, but it's getting that on paper so that everybody else knows exactly what it is that, we're looking to do. And
and it's not just you guys. It's not, even me. Once you reach another level of success, there's new systems, there's more defined roles, there's like adding more support staff. So it never ends. So the faster you can start implementing these systems, the easier it is to build on them. And then going back to what I was saying about building the team, I met a lot of team leads. I met a lot of people that, brought on a lot of people to certain real estate companies. And I just think like, why would somebody want to join their team? So when the same thing I think of when I get a client is, what is their value proposition? Their value proposition is obviously, over 400 real estate transactions under our belts. And that's the team that you're going to get being represented through the real estate process. So what's the value proposition for an agent that wants to come to my team? The value proposition is, you're going to have a solid brand. You're going to have, business, and it's going to be easier for you to do the highest and best use of your time. So I think that's why I think like, hey, if I'm taking a split, you need to exercise the highest and best use of time, which for agents is talking to people, like getting signatures, doing listing agreements and, certain marketing pieces that, are just kind of should be automated. That part is not the highest and best use of your time if you want to get business. It's to have somebody else do that eventually, and then just having conversations, because you talking to people is the highest and best use of, your time. So it's really, man, we could talk about this for a long time. Why would agents join a team? And like when I first started, I didn't know, because there wasn't teams around me, because I was the cop thing, and that I didn't see the value in it, because it's like, why would am I going to join a team? But now I get it. It's like, well, you join a team and you're going to have, double, triple the amount of business, and the conversion of, hey, I'm thinking about buying, to, hey, we just got under contract or in escrow, is way faster when you're on certain teams.
Yeah. No, and I think to that point, and this is, same for us. When you first start as a new agent, that you see these team splits, the immediate thought is, why would I pay so much? But there is just so much value for the right team, of course. So there's just so much value that comes with that split, to be able to focus your time, focus your attention on actually generating business, not having to worry about, did I collect, the right signature on the right document? Am I following this exact process? There's just so much that goes behind the value that a good team leader can bring to the table, that yes, you're giving away some of that commission, but you'll likely double, if not triple, your actual production. And again, it goes to being part of the right team, having good team leaders that can facilitate that as well.
Yep. And you nailed it. It's, I constantly think, am I giving the best value proposition to agents? Because, because I've built these systems over, the last few years, now when an agent comes on, they see the value right away. They're like, oh man, like now I'm getting more business, I'm converting faster, and I'm making more money than I did when I was, keeping all my commission and just paying a flat fee or whatever other split. And it's just like, the way to have a lifelong real estate business is to have just constant referrals and systems, so it can be automated. Because I know damn well you guys don't want to be doing open houses every weekend, for the rest of your lives.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
So it's. Yeah.
And I think with that, a big piece that goes overlooked is just the lifestyle factor of having a good team, good process, good system in place. When you're by yourself, you're doing everything. If you're not working, you are not eating, pretty much. Being able to step into a team, leverage all of that, having a supporting structure that you can rely on, where you can take a break every so often, not have to do an open house every weekend. That is something that to me is huge. Apart from just the money you can be making with a team, it's just the time and the quality of the time they can get back, for sure.
Yep.
So now talking about new agents and the team versus not, I think is a good segue to get over to our Empire 4 questions. The first one being, if you could start all over again, what would you do different? Is that joining a team sooner, or what does that look like for you, if anything?
If I were to start over, honestly, because I had a full-time job, I don't think I could have joined a team. So because, I had other obligations and our kids were super young. So it's like when I did have a client, I really needed to keep that commission. And I was fortunate enough to get a lot of business just from conversations. Like I would talk to everybody. I don't care if, you were a waitress. I'd be like, hey, thank you so much for helping us. Do you live in the area? No? And I was like, are you renting? Are you looking to buy? And so if I would do it all over again, oh man, that's a weird question. I mean, it's not a weird question. It's a great question.
Yeah.
But
so I would say,
honestly,
I would say, and in the context of you, because I think a lot of agents do start off as part-time. And I think that perhaps is a piece that gets overlooked, by most, but part-time agents don't have the benefit of having enough whole days available to them. They have to juggle things more than, full-time agents. And yes, we would all hope to get to that full-time role, but if you had to start over again as a part-time agent, what worked for you to get you to the next level? Or what would you do differently now that you have more experience in the business?
I would have done more systems early on. I am glad that I made all the mistakes I did with, taking a long time to build the team and like not using a CRM, because I fucking hate CRMs. I'm just not a systems guy, but looking back, I wish I would have implemented these systems sooner. And, I took a lot of time to train myself and find information, but I wish I would have started these systems sooner.
No, for sure. And I think, because Felix and I started as part-time agents, and to be honest, that is something that was crucial to us. I used to work in Midtown in Manhattan, a very demanding job. Felix as well at a hospital. If we had 2 hours a day to ourselves, it was a lot. So maximizing those 2 hours, you cannot do so without having a system in place, having a practice in place, and really sticking to it. So I think that's excellent advice.
Yep. Yeah.
Our second question in this round would be, we've all felt stuck at some point, especially now in today's market. I know there's a lot of people that feel stuck, a lot of agents that don't know what to do next, what steps to take. What would be your advice to them?
I would, this is going to sound really simple, but I would hang out with higher producing, higher functioning agents. If you feel stuck, start going to other agents' offices and just see what they're doing. Because I feel like you will only get to a certain point, but if you don't have help, if you don't work with somebody who's at a higher level, then you don't know what you could accomplish. And that's why I always surround myself with as many agents as possible, especially the team leads or masterminds or something, because I want to know what other people are doing and how they got to that level. And then I implement it here.
No, for sure. I think there's I may have mentioned this before, but that mindset of abundance, there's a lot of, limiting self-beliefs out there. And until you get past that, by being around others that think different, you'll never take that next step. So again, excellent advice.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why we're doing this too, right? We want to interview people that were doing better than us, and
this is self-serving.
steal some of their ideas. Unfortunately, we can't steal their characters and stuff like that. But
But I mean, it's not that somebody's doing better. It's just, how long have they been in it? How much time are they allowed to be devoting in it? And so there's just a lot of variables. But yeah, honestly, I hang out with you guys at One Reel, and just diving into each other's businesses, and get information everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you mentioned this before, but in terms of mistakes, and in terms of people being in the business for a long time, at the point where it happens, mistakes suck. they are awful, but they are a learning experience for the next time. And so something that you don't have to be the one to make the mistakes. You can learn from others making those mistakes. And again, by being around others that are in the business, that are performing at a high level, being part of just these masterminds, having conversations, and constantly doing that, that's an excellent way to, again, get unstuck, get remotivated, and come up with thoughts and ideas that you may not have thought of.
I think culturally, we really fucked up where we think mistakes are bad. Even in my team, I have one team member who's amazing. So
Just one.
But I have one team member that's just afraid of making a mistake. And I said, listen, make your mistakes, because mistakes become experiences.
Yep.
And if it costs you some money, it's a paid experience.
Yeah. Right.
But if you don't do it, then you won't learn. Just like working out, just like anything else in life, you got to do it. And being on a team, or if you're in a solid brokerage, or even just in a room full of great agents, you basically at all times, you should have one foot in order and one foot in chaos. Always one foot in order, one foot in chaos, because if you don't make mistakes, you will not learn.
That's a great takeaway.
Culturally, just like you need to just dive in, and then there will be people to pull you out if need be. And it's just culturally, as an industry, we need to just take away the word mistake, and we should just replace it by saying experience.
So the title of this podcast will be "One Foot in Chaos, One Foot in Order."
Hell yeah.
With Tre Serrano. That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
No, and I think,
Love it.
The point of failing forward is a phrase that I use, but I like yours a lot better. But, constantly not being afraid to fail, just, keep on moving, fail forward. That's how you learn. That's how, all the greats in the business, got to where they were. Not by being afraid, but by taking, chances, obviously with structure to some extent, but taking chances and not being scared to take the next step forward.
Yeah. So talking about the experience. So now for those experienced agents that may be listening, that may be looking to take their business to the next level, or, just maybe going from a solo agent to a team, what piece of action or advice would you give?
Hang out with other team leads. I'm kind of serious. Just when you are connected with high level people, you will realize very quickly how scalable it can be. And once you scale, it's almost impossible to fail. Yeah. But if you don't connect yourself with very like-minded individuals, and if you stay in your circle, and if you're the coolest realtor in your room, then you're not the coolest, you're not going to level up because you don't know what the level. So there was a speaker that said, if you're doing your best, then it's not better than being better. And I don't know if it was a Tom Ferry thing or whatever, but if you're saying, you know what, I'm doing the best I can, that should never be the case. You should be always doing better. And to get better, you have to do more than your best.
You have to know what better is.
Yeah. And you should never be doing your best. You should always be doing better.
Awesome.
That's fair.
And then, I guess, final question for us, I guess, would be in terms of, resources or something that you feel has really brought a lot of value to your career. Is there anything that you would say, whether a book, a podcast, a mentor, that, hey guys, if you could do one thing or get one thing, I would say do this?
I think it depends on your personality. So for me, I need to be connected with people that are performing. I love the team environment. I love pushing people in a positive direction. So that's me. Some people it's books. Some people it's just, isolating for a little while, just kind of getting some rejuvenation and then push. But the piece of advice I would say is execute faster. There's so many decisions that you make in your everyday life that are delayed. And if those delayed executions happen over time, that's so bad. You need to start executing decisions now, not tomorrow, not in a minute, not in a day, now.
All right.
And it's like, if you look at somebody, if I tell somebody in this office, go run a mile now, what's stopping them from doing it? Nothing. Do it. So it's all mental blocks. Yeah. And I think we do that in professions. We say, well, I need to do a CRM. Well, do it now.
Yeah. No, and to that same point.
So execute faster.
No, that's, I think that's a great way to sort of end this in that same point. A lot of agents, especially newer agents, I think, try to be perfect. They try to get everything right. And they will not move forward until every dotted I's dotted, T is crossed. I know where it's going with that. Yep. And they just freeze. But like you said earlier when we started, just fake it till you make it, execute now, just take action. Just do it. Just be like Nike. Just do it.
And what I meant when I said fake it till you make it is that's what I thought you were supposed to do, because I went from cop world to real estate world, which is actually a lot similar than I thought, because you're providing a service, right? You're being kind of an advocate for people. So it's not necessarily fake it till you make it, because nowadays the world is very transparent. It's all about authenticity. So if you're new, just be new. Just say, hey, listen, I'm new, but I have a solid brokerage or a team behind me, whatever it is, and you'll get way farther than that, because real estate's about trust.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, it's trust and action. Just take action. And you'll figure things out as you go.
Yep.
Awesome, Tre. So really appreciate the time here. I know, man. You're a busy man, so don't want to take up too much more.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah. So, for those that want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Oh, just Google me. I'm everywhere. All the social platforms. Just type in my name, TRE, and then Serrano. And then let me give you guys a shout out, man. This podcast is awesome. And it's, talking to other realtors, I think that brings the most value to realtors, is because hearing other people's, like, this is where I failed, this is where I did good. I think agents are going to really benefit from this. So
appreciate that. We're late to the YouTube party and all the video stuff. So we're like,
never too late.
I know it's not never too late, but we figured this will be a great starting point for us to kind of get our voices out there, and at the same time bring value to other agents, to newer agents, to people in our team, and just going out there and, like you said, being in rooms, or in this case virtual rooms, with people that are doing things at the next level, so that we can learn from it and others can too.
Love it.
Awesome.
Go team.
So with that, Tre, thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. And we'll definitely
thank you so much
again at some point to Texas again to
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't get to go out to the ranch and shoot some stuff.
next time
Come to San Antonio.
I was a little jealous when I saw everybody else there. Man.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tre.
Next time.
We'll be in touch.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Selling Empire Podcast. Want more of the best real estate tips, tricks, secrets, and insights to level up your game? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. While you're at it, help us spread the word by leaving a rating and review. And we will see you back here next time for the next episode of The Selling Empire.
Oh.